Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Kiki's Kitchen. This afternoon, what we're going to do is we're going to be making some cream puffs. I love cream puffs, and they are called so many different things. They are called pate choux if you want to be fancy. They are called long johns if you make them in a certain shape. They are called eclairs. It depends on where you are, but it's all the same. And it's all very simple to do. It's actually the very first thing I ever got to make all by myself. I know I was less than 8 years old because I made it in Ottumwa, Iowa, which is where I lived at the time. You know, that place that Radar O'Reilly from MASH used to say he was from? Well, actually, that's where I'm from. And so anyway, I made them for my daddy all by myself, and we moved from there when I was 8 years old. So I know I was less than that. So it's that simple. I'm telling you, it's that simple. So we're going to start. And actually I'm going to show you a couple ways to use them. When I make them, you can make them fancy. I'm not doing that. I'm using that with just a plain old teaspoon. But if you put them down about this big, they'll get this big. But if you put them down about this big, they'll get this big. And then you can use them for appetizers, which I do a lot of times. I'll stuff them with chicken salad or egg salad or something like that if I want to use it as an appetizer. Really good. So let's start. So what I have is 1 cup of water. Into my pan it goes. And 1 stick of butter. You can use margarine also if you would like. I think margarine was more of a thing of maybe the 60s and 70s. I don't know. Some people still use it. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, we're going to put a fire under this, and we're going to let that melt. While that melts, I'm going to get my next ingredient ready, which is 1 cup of flour. All-purpose flour, 1 cup. And I hope you can see this. Oh my gosh, everyone is so busting my chops about not being able to see. And I wish I had a bigger kitchen so I could get a better camera angle. I promise I'm doing the best I can. I swear I am. So, and I would love to get you closer, but I can't always do it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's try that. Necessity is the mother of invention. So we'll see if this works any better. Anyway, so what we're doing is we have 1 stick of butter in here and 1 cup of water, and we are melting those together over a nice medium flame. I'm going to get 1 cup, and I did use, of course, my liquid measuring cup, which is what I want you to use whenever you're measuring liquid such as water. I've got a dry measuring cup right here, which is this, and the difference is I can put this in here and flatten it out. I can't flatten it out across the top of this because it's got a spout on it, so that's the difference. So what I like to do is I like to overfill it, but I'm using a light hand when I do this. So I overfill it so it's heaping. I tap it twice on the side, 2 or 3 times, and then kind of mill it across and make it flat. I'm not trying to pack it in here by any stretch of the imagination. I just want a nice level, and by tapping it, I'm filling in a little air pockets, but I'm not packing it. So there we go. That's 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And I'm telling you, this doesn't have very many ingredients to it. But it is so good. It depends on, of course, what you want to fill it with. Today, we're using it as a dessert. I'm going to make it as a cream puff, as originally intended, a cream puff. And I've got some vanilla pudding that I made, instant vanilla pudding. It's in the refrigerator. You know how to make that. Just follow the directions. 2 cups cold milk. And if you want to amp up the vanilla flavoring in any of those pudding mixes for vanilla, just put a few dribbles of vanilla extract in it. It'll just intensify the vanilla. That's all. Okay, now can you see this? A nice rolling boil. It's all melted in here. So what I'm going to do, and that only took as long as we've been talking to do, right? So now I'm going to take my cup of flour and dump it in here. Turn the heat off and just start to stir. My light is so bright. but it will come into, let me see if turning this light off helps. Maybe you can see a little bit better. But so you just stir, 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 and you can see that it's starting to come into a dough. Just keep stirring. And actually we want to add about 1/4 teaspoon, otherwise known as a pinch of salt to it. Just a pinch, just a pinch. And you want to just keep stir, 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 and you're making this into a, you'll see it's just going to come into a ball. See how that's starting to all come together into a ball? Stir, 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 that's all we're doing. Okay. I'm going to press this way because I want to make sure I get all of the flour lumps out. You can see what I'm doing, hopefully. I'm sure somebody can't. Okay. Now, there you go. So can you see that this is just a ball now? It's a ball of dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you off. And I'm going to let this cool. I want this, and actually, to tell you the truth, I'm going to wait about 5 minutes and then I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator and let it cool because I want it completely cool. And then we're going to add eggs to it. But it has to be completely cool before you add the eggs, because if you don't, then your cream puffs won't rise. I have a friend who tried to make these for years, and it became kind of a joke. She's like, I tried, and I know it has to be because this dough just was not cool enough. So that's what we're gonna do. Let it cool, and I'll be back to you as soon as it's cool. Okay, it's nice and cool, and you can see that it is a dough. And to tell you the honest truth, I put it in the fridge for about 15 minutes, and then I put it in the freezer for about 5 minutes. So it's definitely nice and cool, and that's the way you want it. It comes together so nicely as a dough, as you can see, right? It's like really, really, really stiff mashed potatoes. So now we're going to add 4 eggs, but we have to do it one at a time. That is the whole secret. And you know me, first off, they're in this water because when I decided to do this, I needed them to be room temperature, so I put them in with some hot tap water. And actually, they probably would have been fine because it's taken a little bit of time, but still, put them in hot tap water, and it'll bring them down to room temperature. So one at a time. And you know I always break it into something else just in case we get a bad egg. And so, see the egg going in here? I'm going to just beat it into this dough. And I think that's part of the reason, if you have a problem getting it to rise, is that you don't mix it in thoroughly one at a time. I'll show you what it looks like at the end of each addition. So see, it's loosening the dough. All right, so that's nice and incorporated. Got everything in there. I'll move to the next egg. And I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees, by the way. And I have 2 cookie sheets here, and they're my big giant ones that I've lined with parchment. Egg in. Mashing it in here. And if this is dragging for some of you, just fast forward. There's only so fast you can go. I'll tell you, reading all your comments can make you paranoid. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Is my lighting right? I just want y'all to know that I promise you I'm trying my best. All right, so, and this is a stiff batter, absolutely. It's a pate choux, see? Third one going in. Ta-da! Almost. And the reason I'm not cutting off the video is because it's important that you see how this mixes, because it kind of will get slimy. It's kind of what it feels like, and like the dough is breaking apart, but you got to just make sure you keep. And I wish I should be going this way. Hold on a second. I so want you to see this batter. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Just trying to get through it. Okay, so I'm gonna I wanted to change it around so that I could show you how this is mixing together. Just kind of slosh it around. Make sure, see that? It went, woohoo! It went from a very, very stiff batter to a much, much more loose. And we got our last egg. This has always truly been one of my favorites, and it's one of those that I'm having our little Bible class over for desserts tonight, and I always forget about this, and this will be one that they love. How do you not like a cream puff? All right, we are getting there. And you know what? It's interesting because this is how I learned to do it. Truly never occurred to me to do it in a mixture. Who knows? Because this is how my mama taught me. All right, and see how that is? Nice big thick batter. Hold on one second. We're gonna get all turned around and get ready to put them on the cookie sheet. Okay, all I did was just turned you around, and I had beat the batter. I didn't do anything else to it, and so now I just have a regular tablespoon. Now, you know, a lot of people will do this whole thing. Hold on a second, I'm right here. Where, you know, they'll put it. This is actually just a Ziploc, but they'll put it through a piping bag and pipe them. You know, you make them all here pretty and blah blah blah. Well, that's just an extra step. And you know what? I'm not in a cooking competition. So, you know, they're still going to look pretty. They're just not going to be perfect. I mean, anyway, they're perfect for me. So I'm going to make some as big as that spoon. You see that? And all I'm going to do is drop them. Now, I'm going to space them. See how big that is? I'm going to space them because they're going to puff. So I'll space them 3 on a row. That ought to be fine. Now I'm going to make several of these. Let me get that back up. But then I'm going to make some smaller because I want you to see, as I had said to you before, if you make them small, then you can use them as an hors d'oeuvre and fill them like with chicken salad, egg salad, pimento cheese, tuna salad. So let me get these on here. And with these, I'm going to, and you'll see, when they come out, we're gonna fill them with the vanilla pudding that I made, which is just boxed vanilla pudding. And then we're gonna top them with a little bit of melted chocolate because, you know, everything's better with chocolate. Okay, so now I'm gonna make some on this one that are small. And, you know, of course the sky is the limit when you're trying to figure out things to put in it. I'm doing a little ladies' lunch on Saturday at church, and as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, that'd be really good with just a little bit of sausage in it, and maybe some cheese, because they look like, when they come out, these little ones, they look like little mini hard rolls. If you're from New Jersey or the Northeast, you know what a hard roll is. I'm making just enough to show you. Going back to the big ones. Now, The other thing, and actually you can freeze these too, of course unstuffed. You buy them, frozen cream puffs all the time, but the advantage that they have is flash freezing. We don't have that advantage in my house. I don't have a flash freezer. Wish I did, that'd be cool. All right, a few more of these. And because when I make these for hors d'oeuvres, they'll make 70 puffs of this size. And if you're having a party, I'm telling you, it is the greatest little appetizer. Nobody will know what that is. And they'll think you are a rock star. You know my theory. Find yourself some good, easy recipes. Make yourself look like a rock star. All right. The last one. All right. And they will keep. You got to keep you want to keep them. You don't want them to be in a completely airtight container, because if the condensation builds up, they'll get soggy. So kind of a little bit on the open side. All right, there we go. I'm going to stick these in a 400-degree oven. They're going to be in there for about 25 minutes, and they'll be nice and golden brown. I'll see you in 25. Okay, they're out of the oven, and here they are. So these are the bigger ones, and you can make them bigger than this, but I'm going to do a bowl of ice cream and an eclair, so I didn't want them huge. So this is the size that I made, which is the size of that spoon. Then I told you I made the small ones that you can use for hors d'oeuvres, and just to give you an example, I made a little salami sandwich. See, it's got little mozzarella, little tomato, salami, and a piece of basil in there. So little cute little sandwiches. But I'm telling you, it's really good with egg salad or chicken salad or tuna salad even. But it's a great little hors d'oeuvre. No one else will make for it. So now what I have also done is I've melted some chocolate. I'm going to take these and I'm going to dip it down in here and top it. Now I'm going to stuff these, but I'm going to let the chocolate set up first. So I'm going to dip it and just putting it, because like I said, chocolate, and I wanted to make sure that I got a cup big enough to get that I could get down in here and get it nice and gooey ooey. So let me finish this, and I will get ready to, because I'm going to finish putting the chocolate on the tops, and then I'm going to let them set up, and when they have set up, I'll come back to you and we'll fill them. Okay, I've got the chocolate covered cream puffs in the fridge outside, and they're just setting up. The chocolate's just setting up, hardening, if you will. And so now I'm going to show you what I do to stuff them. There are two ways to do this. There's one that's a little bit more difficult, or it requires a little bit more. And then there's just slicing the top off and putting the filling in. And that works too. So I'm going to take a Ziploc bag and cut the teeniest little hole in the end. Just a teeny little hole. Because my piping tip will push my hole through, and then I'm guaranteed it won't be too big of a hole. So here is the base for your piping tip and your piping tip. I'm gonna put it inside the bag. And you know what, they have all kinds of bags, but and I actually have a bunch of bags up there in that closet, but so I'm gonna just push this through my hole, because like I said, I didn't make a big hole because it can get big in a hurry. So here we go, and there it is. See? And now I'm going to put the ring on top, because this has the thread and that has the thread. So this is going to go down on top of it, and you're just going to screw it on here. Screw it on tightly. Now what I have found is that if you take a tall glass and stick it down inside the tall glass, as far down as you can, and then kind of spread this back like this. It feels easier. Just how I do it. Now this is our pudding. Remember I told you just make whatever, a chocolate pudding, whatever kind of pudding you like. So this is our vanilla pudding that has been setting up. I made that first so that it would have a chance to set up. And I'm just gonna scoop that in and push that down inside my bag. Like I said, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this because you don't have to do it this way. Sometimes this way is easier though. It just depends on what you have. If you don't have this stuff, don't go out and buy it. You know, again, unless you're entering a contest. I'm not entering a contest. I'm making this for my friends. Trust me, my friends, they are happy to anything I make for them. Any way it looks, they are happy. Okay, that's as far as we're going to go. And then I'll pull this up. And put it down in the corner. Mush it all down there. And it's ready to go. So let me go get them out of the fridge. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this tip and we're going to, oops, I'm sorry. I'm going to take this serrated edge knife. I'm going to make a little hole. Just a little tiny hole. See? Little tiny hole. I'm going to take this tip and put it in there and whop it in here. Squeeze the bag and you can fill it. You can feel it fill up. Beep. And when it, whoop, well look, we got a little on the top too. So, little hole, tip in, squeeze, and it's full. So, excuse me, let me just get another knife. Always another knife. So, little tip, in with the tip, and squeeze. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, simple too, which is actually when I learned how to do this as a child, we didn't have that. We had this. So you just saw it in half, raise up. So look at the inside. Can you see the inside? And then take your spoon, fill it up, and put the top back on. Very simple. Call that rustic. How about that? Tell you what, my daddy loved it. My daddy was my hero. Still is. And again, just fill it up. I know you can't see this. I'll be yelled at for sure. And see? Top on. That's going to be a good one for sure. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill all of these. And I hope you make them. Again, a stick of butter, a cup of flour, and 4 eggs, one at a time. Little salt. That's all it is to it. And then dip it. I'm telling you, this is the stuff. This is like pastry stuff. People think you really, really did a big deal. So give it a try. I hope you like it. Good night.